Part 6. Origin of Romans. Romans started their history from a mythology based on Remus and Romulus, 753 BCE. Remus killed Romulus runs parallel with Cain killed Abel and ate him. Cain was afraid to travel alone for fear of being killed and eaten by other cannibals. Ezekiel 16:3-5. Say, the Lord Yahweh says this: by origin and birth you belong to the land of Canaan. Your father was an Amorite and your mother a Hittite. At birth, the very day you were born, there was no one to cut your navel string, or wash you in water to clean you, or rub you with salt, or wrap you in swaddling clothes. No one looked at you with pity enough to do any of these things out of sympathy for you. You were exposed in the open fields in your own dirt on the day you were born. Verses records birth of Romans, 13,500 BC. Romans' father and mother were cannibals and incestuous. Ezekiel 16:6-7. I saw you kicking on the ground in your blood as I was passing, and I said to you as you lay in your blood, live. And I made you grow like the grass of the fields. You developed, you grew, you reached marriageable age. Your breasts became firm and your hair grew richly, but you were stark naked. It was Hindus who first visited early Romans, 13,500 BC. Ezekiel 16:8-14. Then I saw you as I was passing. Your time had come, the time for love. I spread my cloak over you and covered your nakedness. I gave you my oath. I made a covenant with you, declares the Lord Yahweh. And you became mine. I bathed you in water. I washed the blood off you. I anointed you with oil. I gave you embroidered dresses, fine leather shoes, a linen headband, and a cloak of silk. I loaded you with jewels, gave you bracelets for your wrists and a necklace for your throat. I gave you nose rings and earrings. I put a beautiful diadem on your head. You were loaded with gold and silver and dressed in linen and silk and brocade. Your food was the finest flour, honey and oil. You grew more and more beautiful, and you rose to be queen. The fame of your beauty spread through the nations since it was perfect, because I had clothed you with my own splendor, declares the Lord Yahweh. It was Hindus who delivered linen and silk clothes, nose rings and earrings, flour, sugar, milk to Romans. Hindus are the only people with nose rings. It was Hindus who invented linen, cotton, and silk clothes, not China. Ezekiel 16:15-19. But you became infatuated with your own beauty and used your fame to play the whore, lavishing your debauchery on all comers. You took some of your clothes to make for yourself high places, bright and with colors, and there you played the whore. You also took your jewelry, made with my gold and silver which I had given you, and made yourself male images to serve your whorings. You took your unbridled clothes and used these to dress them up, and you offered them my oil and my incense. And the bread I gave you, the finest flour, the oil and honey with which I fed you, you offered them as a pleasing smell. What is more, declares the Lord Yahweh. Verses refer to 1st century CE. Romans became pseudo-Catholics and Christians, antichrist. Verses describe Catholics and Christians as whores and prostitutes. They had accepted everything from Hindus which were delivered to them in Rome. Roman Catholics and Christians entered India to loot, murder, and eat Hindus. Ezekiel 16:20-22. You took the sons and daughters you had borne me and sacrificed them as food to the images. Was not your whoring enough in itself for you to slaughter my children and hand them over to be burnt in their honor? And in all your loathsome practices and your whorings, you never call your early days to mind, when you were stark naked, kicking on the ground in your own blood. Verses confirm Roman Catholics and Christians sacrificed Hindus and ate them. Roman Catholics and Christians never remembered what Hindus had done for them. They are identified as Judas traitors. Habakkuk 1:15-16. They take all of them up with a hook. They drag them off in their net and gather them into their seine. No one spares even his brother. Romans catch people with hook and net. Not one spares even his brother. Ezekiel 36:13. You are a land that devours men and bereaves your nation of children. Is a land that eats up its Romans 13:32. Is a land that eats up its inhabitants. It was Roman Catholics, Christians, who devours people and who eats up its inhabitants.